thenucleisaga.com. The books are available internationally in the form of paperback in the United States, the United Kingdom, Spain, Germany, Italy, India, France, and Japan. It's available globally as an ebook as well as for those who fancy reading on their tablets or Amazon Kindle devices. As much as we're anxious to see the book and read it later too, we are eager to hear from the author. Let us all welcome author Saif Rahman to the lectern regarding the second book. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries, media personnel, and esteemed members of the audience, I wish you all a very good afternoon. I feel stumped from where I should begin. I have imagined this moment countless times in my head, and yet I stand before you all having mixed feelings. The Nuclear Saga 2, 6 long years, it's finally here. So all those people who are asking me, "Arey Mia, Dursi kitab kab aati?" Now the ball is in my court. Now I can say, well, Dursi kitab to aa gayi janab. Pehle aap ye boliye, pehli kitab padhe ya nahi? After my engineering, I lost track of my literary endeavors. I suffered from a long spell of writer's block. I previously told this. I stared at my computer screen for hours at stretch, and no creative juice started to flow. And as I've said before, the first book's fans seemed to have disappeared. And for a very brief moment of time, I had forgotten everything. I had forgotten my own book. And this is partly because I live in a world which is dominated by smartphones, gadgets, gaming consoles, soap operas. And a newbie author or writer like me seems to be worthless in return. At a certain point, people stop caring. And it's my humble opinion that people are more driven by trend rather than intent. But I did find my way back home thanks to my wife Aisha and my best friend Mohammed Abdul Samad, who motivated me to complete this book, who happens to be the master of ceremony for today. And their active participation in this literary event is a testimony to the fact of their selfless devotion to me. And this is also one of the reasons why I have dedicated my book in their honor. And also to my late Ida Sada. I've been very reticent about this, but he was a man who practically brought me and my siblings up. But to credit 2 or 3 people is an understatement. My family has been a strong pillar of support in the literature forsaken world. And I had some very special people in my life, like that boy over there with purple shirt, Abdul Samad bin Rahman, and my friends like Ehsan Siddiqui, who continuously strive to promote my book without any cost or price. I'm grateful for that. Do I, as Janabi Khan has said, do I consider myself to be a good source of literature? Absolutely not, I do not. But I do like to think of myself as a storyteller. I believe that simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. And that has changed between my first book and my second book. A degree of minimalism, stripping off non-essentials. I believe in telling a complex story in a beautiful and simple way. The second book started along themes such as retribution, reawakening, rebirth, and so on. And if any of you were following me on Facebook, you would know what I would be talking about. But there's one primary character which was set to debut in the first book. I delayed it to the second book. And the wheel of characters, the 8 books, is now complete. I wrote my second book with the same sense of uncertainty as how my characters ventured out into the unknown, into unexplored territories. They had no idea of how their journey would go through, and neither did I. And it surprised me the way how they evolved. They made me bend my hand of writing according to their characterization. It's a very interesting, intriguing phenomenon. And what most people may not realize is that there is a very universal theme in my books, the sequel ones and the present two books. And it deals with the dissolution of war. War. It seems exciting. It seems thrilling. But it's basic human intrinsic nature to confuse something as despicable as war as something rewarding or thrilling. But war is not that, ladies and gentlemen. It is the invitation to grief and suffering. It is the invitation to death. Secondly, my book also deals, which I've said this, it's a very controversial topic, which is good versus evil. I do not believe that anymore. I believe you cannot truly judge or classify some things. And that grey area, it becomes a hotspot of things going haywire. It can tilt towards either of the directions. My book also deals with the consequences of choice. Now it happens in our day-to-day life that we take a very instantaneous decision. We hardly realize that, but decisions are very instantaneous. And when we take that instantaneous decision, we do not think about the consequences. But consequences and effects tend to somehow, inevitably, manifest themselves one way or another. And this is there in my book. There's also a very persistent visual theme in the book launch. If any of you have noticed, could you please tell me? Anyone? The book covers, the banners? Mountains, exactly. Thank you, Mr. Andan. Mountains. That's the image, the visual imagery that comes with me in my head when I see this piece of prose. Mountains. It signifies standing still. It signifies resilience. It denotes constancy, motionlessness, an elevation, a higher level of consciousness. And the mountains is the heart of my second book. Now I'm speaking in very generic terms here and not specific, because I do realize that most of you have not read my book. But I eventually hope that you all do read my book. If not by intent, at least by trend. But seeing you all here, it does spark a hope in my heart. I see Janab Muhammad Haider Ali, Janab A.K. Khan Sahab, a lot of dignitaries here, a lot of people coming up in large numbers. And I hope that writing may yet prevail. Thank you and wish you all a pleasant day.